Good evening, everyone. This is Tanika Nikki coming at you guys with some footage that I recently found on YouTube. It's about the white nationalist movement that's going on in Florida. Actually, it's been going on in quite a few cities and states, rather, involving Richard Spencer and his speakers. It caused quite a ruckus in Florida. They was not having it, and I salute those guys for getting them guys in line. As far as what I heard, they were booing them and cutting up and acting up. So what I'm gonna do is not talk so long, and I'm gonna watch this footage with you guys. I may fast forward a little bit because I want to get to the good stuff when they was booing their asses off stage. I know that ain't right, but I'm just saying it's 2017 and racism should be dead, and unfortunately, it's not. But yeah. Anyway, let's get on to this footage. Again, this is the footage from the speeches down in Florida. Richard Spencer. Let's see what's popping. All right, fast forward a little bit.
Tonight is
Oh damn! Let me see if I can catch it. All right, so this in and still not popping.
at the end of the day, ideology aside, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Everyone has a right to speak. Liberals, Antifa, alt-right, anybody has the right to speak their mind under the First Amendment as long as it doesn't violate, right? Anybody has the right to speak. If I were to come up here and say the earth is flat, no one would say anything. But freedom, the First Amendment is basically embedded for controversial ideas that are going to be challenged and they're going to be talked about and they're going to be debated. And that's hope what we do tonight is debate ideas. And there's a question and answer section that's going to take place, and people are going to be able to discuss, certain ideas. And hopefully they can ask reasonable, decent questions, and it can just be a peaceful event. Because trust me, that's all we came to do is be peaceful. Do I look like I'm going to attack anybody? No. Come on, look, we got some people in the back. It's fine. But anyways, University of Florida did a great job helping us out to be able to come here. The police force has obviously been great. Yeah, hopefully this event is going to take place very peacefully, and there's going to be a couple people are going to speak, and Richard's going to speak at the end, and he's going to take questions and answers. And if it's an idea that hold on, if it's an idea that can be easily debunked, well then I challenge you to debunk it. Other than calling anyone racial slurs like, oh, he's a white supremacist, he's a neo-Nazi. What does that even mean? Hold on. Ask a question and let him tell you what he thinks, and then you can say what you want to say. Don't go on Twitter and say anything you want to say. Ask him a question and he'll give you an answer. That's it. That's all there is to it. Like these people are so closed-minded, they just want to read CNN headlines or whatever. So yeah. Anyways. So what I want to do, the next speaker in line is Eli Mosley. He's a leader of Identity Europa. Great guy. I've got to meet him. I've known him for a couple months now, and he's going to be the next speaker. And I hope everyone just engages in dialogue peacefully. And like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. I want to thank President Fox for his cooperation in this. That's the main thing. So here we go. President Fox. How you guys doing tonight?
Okay, racist number one.
So my name is Eli Mosley, and I'm the leader of Identity Europa. We are an identitarian organization that's built for European Americans of college age who would build our identity based on community building, activism, and leadership development. Our group, as the alt-right in the whole, comes from 2016 and earlier But when we all met on Twitter and social media, where we helped to try to get Donald Trump elected to office. However, in 2017, what we have done is we have created a true activist movement and done dozens of events across the country that are meant to inspire our people. When we do these events, I've had journalists accuse us of saying, oh, you're intimidating people of color. Oh, you're trying to cost the school money.
How about,
or
oh,
trying
you're
to
a
cause
racist?
Violence. Fundamentally, what we are doing with our activism is speaking to our people and inspiring them to take their own side. We are here today at the University of Florida because we would like to talk to students and the country as a whole, because we do know that eyes are on us. And we would like to explain to you that white people have learned something this year, and it's going to continue to happen. We have learned that identity politics works, and we're not going to unlearn it, and we're not going anywhere. Listen, white people, they're booing.
Wow.
Are you willing to go get some booze, or are you too afraid?
Wow.
What our objective is, and fundamentally why we talk to universities, is because these universities have become cesspools of anti-white vitriol. These academic institutions are led by a vanguard of far-left Marxists from the 60s and elsewhere. They admit it. Who have come to usher in a new age when the white people are all gone and they can come about their Marxist utopia. Also, the co-conspirators of this cesspool at university is the right-wing conservatives. Conservatism today has only become a liberalism of the decade past. They conserve absolutely nothing, and they stand up not for their people, but for their special interests, and they do not represent their base any longer. When you poll white Americans and ask them how they feel about the national anthem issue with sports ball, or they ask, what do you feel about Southern monuments? White Americans overwhelmingly support these positions, while the traditional conservatives absolutely refuse to represent us, and we will represent you, white America. How original.
That's right.
All right. So, I would like to end with a proposition to heal the divide that we're seeing in this room right now.
Heal the
with people
divide.
chanting Black Lives Matter. I think you guys are going to like this, the people chanting Black Lives Matter. But I, Eli Mosley, I am calling for the immediate resignation of all white professors and administrators across the country. See, the white professors and these schools who run this institution, they only speak diversity is our strength, repeating the mantra while shaking back and forth. But what they really don't understand is that they are just being performative allies of color or allies of white people. And fundamentally, they have to actually go through with their actual beliefs, and they refuse to. How can a white history professor teach a colonized individual about colonization if they weren't colonized? How can a math professor teach math with racist terms like per capita and disproportionate?
This clown.
They can't. That's the answer. The reason that these professors refuse to actually act on what they say with diversity as our strength is because they refuse to give up their positions of privilege in academia. And the reason that they are terrified of our views, signing petitions and telling students to ignore our events, is because fundamentally they agree with us that this is their right to hold these institutions. So again,
Okay, y'all, forgive me. I can't listen to no more of his shit. I just can't. I tried. I tried so hard. So if you do want to go and look at this whole shit, I ain't even got no words. He done got me so pissed off. Anyway, if you want to go and view this whole speech session, there were 3 speakers. There was 2, including Mr. Richard Spencer. What I'm about to do is go ahead and fast forward to Mr. Richard Spencer, because I can't stand to hear another stupid, racially fueled, divide and separate, white nationalism, piece of shit, say nothing else crazy. I just don't feel like it. But I do want to hear what this main dude had to say. I just gotta hear where they're getting all this, where they're getting all the ideas from. I just gotta hear the head honcho basically. So give me a minute.
of national determination. Within that process, there was what you could call peaceful ethnic redistribution. New countries like Poland came into being. Our old countries came into being. New ones like Yugoslavia were invented effectively. It has been done. There are many examples of peaceful ethnic redistribution. We are watching that right now. It is happening on the news and social media before our eyes in terms of the migration crisis, in terms of millions of non-whites, Arabs, and Africans flowing into Germany. There is violence, no doubt. There is violence directed against mostly women, to be honest. There's violence directed against other people. But that is effectively peaceful redistribution of a population.
What the fuck is he
It
talking
has
about?
been done previously. It is happening quite literally right now. That is what I was saying. Ooh. Guys, just do something creative. Yes, sir.
Hello. Just a quick question. Given how ugly all of you guys are, why do you think white people are supreme?
Okay. Now we get into the good shit.
Are you actually looking at me right now?
I do have eyes.
I don't quite know how to answer that one. And I'll pretend that you're acting in good faith. And I'll say that you, as a non-white person, you don't care for European standards of beauty. That's fine with me. I do. They're my people. To me, white people are truly beautiful and are worthy of being preserved. Perhaps they're not to you, that's fine. I'm not sure I find your people very attractive.
Wow.
Hi.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So I did some research on some interviews by you before I came here because I wanted.
All right, give me a minute, y'all. I'm finna run it back just a touch. I want to make sure I'm getting all the Q&A in here. It looked like I tapped on the good part, so let me take it back to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Give me 1 second, y'all. Especially if it's good shit. Hold up. Let me make sure. All right. Let's see.
We have tremendous amount of support. Oh, see, I'm sorry. This is so pathetic.
What are they,
You
Donald
don't-
Trump clones or some shit?
Are you afraid I might say something? Are you afraid you might hear something you're not ready for? We have a tremendous amount of support around the country. You know, why this place, speakers do not come to the university out of some kind of ad hoc popularity contest among Antifa members who crowd into an auditorium. And by the way, I have been to universities very much like this one, big institutions, football schools. They were sold out with students. I gave a speech, little bit of heckling, which is fine. And then we had a Q&A session and we really engaged. I imagine that all of you here, due to the amount of threats of violence, you have intimidated people who actually wanted to be here, who are actually serious people, unlike you. You are become, I feel sorry for you. Do you know how this is going to be read? Do you think this is going to be read as great victory for U of F? No. It's going to be read as the University of Florida is filled with childlike Antifa who shout at people as opposed to talking to them. You're applauding. That is really sad.
This clown. This clown.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
Hi. I'm going to try not to rile everyone up too much, but I genuinely have a question. So,
Her down too. Is that it?
hi. Okay, so my name is Jamie Bell. I'm a UF alumni. Hi, everyone. And I didn't expect to be able to get in here, but I'm glad I have the opportunity to ask a question. So, Mr. Spencer, you have a right to free speech, but the Supreme Court has decided that you don't have the right to incite violence. Now, you listen. Wait. Now, you might not directly
The
say.
Supreme Court didn't
Listen,
decide
okay, can
that.
you let
That's
me
against
finish?
the law,
Let
obviously.
me finish my question, please. So, I get it. You don't directly say kill black people, kill Jews, whatever, but your followers seem to take the idea of a white-only ethno-state to heart, and they are the ones going out and committing violent acts in your name and in the name of your movement. So
Name
my
a
question
single-
my question is, how do you respond to people who feel that you should take responsibility for the actions of others, that your words appear
What
to
are
be
you referring
encouraging?
to? Name a single incident in which some alt-rightist went out and murdered someone.
Charlottesville, you organized that rally. People came with
Get
riot
'em.
gear, and
Get 'em.
someone died. And that was under the name of your movement. How do you not take
Absolutely.
responsibility for the actions of those people?
Absolutely not. What exactly happened with the death of Heather Heyer remains unclear. The fact is,
What the
there was
fuck?
a young man. Oh, it's my fault. You know, life doesn't work that way. That you can self-righteously say, it's your fault. And what, are they going to throw me into moral prison? That is just ridiculous. I have
Just
explicitly,
reckless as
not only
hell.
do I not call for violence, I have explicitly called for peace and explicitly called for dialogue. And I came here to speak to you to actually have a conversation. In terms of what James Fields, the situation with Heather Heyer and James Fields, all I demand is that he receive a fair investigation and a fair trial, which I fear he may never get because he is used as a scapegoat. The fact is, his vehicle was attacked. His vehicle rammed into another vehicle mysteriously that rammed into other people. Then other people were injured as he was attempting to escape. This is a very strange method of committing murder. That doesn't mean that I'm assuming innocence. What I am assuming is that that is a very ambiguous situation and that he deserves justice, and justice is a fair investigation and a fair trial. The fact is, do you hold your Marxist professor to this same standard? The Antifa are engaged in violence. You are all engaged in a kind of violence, by the way, by attempting to suppress speech of people who are here peacefully. The Antifa engage in all sorts of nonsense and mayhem on a daily basis, whether it is threats or whether it is violence at Charlottesville, whether it's an attack on me, whether it's an attack on an average Trump supporter. They engage in all sorts of violence. Do you hold your professors to account? oh, they might not have explicitly said we should attack Richard Spencer. But it was just a wink, wink, nod, nod. That's what they meant. Do you hold them to the same standard? No, you don't, and you shouldn't. You should hold to account the people who actually engage in violence, which is not me, which is not us. Calling me. Hey. You, sir.
Hi, could everybody who's right here up front just turn around and look at me real quick? No? All right, well, fuck you. And fuck you, too.
Wow. Good night, all. That guy has a bright future ahead of him. I mean, really, if you're able to flick something off, I mean, just wait till...
Hey, man, I don't have much time.
He might very well cure cancer.
I don't mean to cut you off. I don't have much time, but I got a question for you.
What? Can you just articulate, please?
Man, hold on, I'm not going to do anything. So, my question is to you, what are you still doing here?
Exactly. Kick his ass out.
Haven't you realized that you've lost already before it's even begun?
Oh, really? How are you going to make me leave? I'm just curious.
I never said anything about making you leave. I asked a simple question.
Well,
I asked a simple question. You're telling me to articulate my words. I'm telling you to listen. My question was, what are you still doing here?
I guess perhaps I could ask
perhaps
you a
nothing.
question.
What are you still doing here?
What am I still doing here? I am speaking. I am engaged in a dialogue. We have a scheduled event that you and your friends are attempting to violently disrupt.
I want to say this.
I won't let you.
I'm going to say this. These are my friends. These are my friends. This is my community. These are my people.
Your community. This is an academic institution.
Why are you getting mad? Why are you getting mad? Why are you getting mad?
I'm
Why are you
sorry.
getting mad? Lower your voice. I didn't yell at
This
you.
is not your community. This is an academic institution for free thought and inquiry.
Are you my community? Am I a part of you? Are you a part of us?
Here. The community.
So I'll ask you one more time. What are you still doing here?
I'm speaking, and I'm not leaving. You.
Hello, Mr. Spencer. I have kind of two questions. I need to establish something first. First of all, do you support the creation of a white ethno-state?